Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to be watching and talking about Assassin's Creed. What makes it easier is I turn Assassin's Creed games into TV shows. So I edit the games into TV shows the same way you've seen people maybe edit the games into movies, but oftentimes it's just cutscenes or, gameplay with the HUD on and everything. I try to do everything as cinematic as possible, and I try to mix all the cutscenes with the right amount of gameplay that adds to the character development and the story. The type of gameplay like travel and stuff like that, side missions that don't have anything to do with the main storyline, I basically took all that stuff, cut it out. There are a lot of movies out there, video game movies in general, where it's just the cutscenes. And there's a lot of dialogue and character development that happens outside of the cutscenes during gameplay, and so I think it's important to mix the gameplay with the cutscenes, and so that's what I've done. But then also, to try to have it feel like a TV show, I had to play all the missions first, figure out how I wanted to do them, the best way to do them, with the HUD on so I know where to go, what to do, and then I would turn the HUD off, as much stuff on the screen as possible off, and then play it and record it. So a lot of work went into creating each individual season. Each game is its own season, and I was going to do this, or I had already started doing this as a live stream series, but for some reason I got a copyright claim watching one of my own videos that is already on my channel that has no copyright claims. So I decided I would do it as a video series instead, because you have a lot more control uploading a video than live streaming. So we're going to be watching and talking about Assassin's Creed. So let's get started. So we're going to be starting with Assassin's Creed 1. And we're just going to watch it, and anytime I have something to say, I'm going to stop and say what I need to say. There's a lot of because the game, it's not just, the thing I really like about Assassin's Creed is it's not just a video game with a good story, right? It's history that has been intertwined with a fictional story. So they take history and then they wrap their fictional story into it, and it's a fantastic way of actually making a story very believable, because that's something that makes stories, what makes a story really good is how believable it is, because if it's more believable, people will automatically be more into it. Even like some of the most wild fantasy or sci-fi stories, they will try to make them as believable as possible given the parameters of whatever world or universe it's set within. So that's one reason why I really, really like Assassin's Creed. I think I'm more of a story-driven person than a game and gameplay type of person. To each their own. But so here, let's get into it. We're gonna start watching Assassin's Creed Season 1, Episode 1. Here we go. There's a moment here where he's like in the air and it slows down for just a second, and you see his hidden blade come out, and I remember it being like one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen in like a video game trailer. right there, there's something about it, because you see the blade come out from his wrist and you can see the guy's face. He knows something is wrong because he's reaching for his sword to pull it out, but he knows it's too late.
We've got a problem.
So this, I guess you could call it interesting, but it was also the advertisement for the game. It was so good. I was like, I need to somehow incorporate this into the beginning of the game. And so I figured the way the game starts off, you're already in the Animus. You don't know you're Desmond yet. And so I was like, I'm going to have this happening, and then that's when they're going to pull Desmond out. So that's why you're hearing Lucy's voice over top this scene right now.
I can't anchor him to the memory. Too much psychological trauma. He's rejecting the treatment, retreating.
Desmond, I need you to try and relax.
Let me try and stabilize.
Focus. Listen to the sound of my voice. Recognize that what you're seeing isn't real. Just a picture of the past. It can't hurt you.
Damn it, it's not working.
Give it a moment, Mr. He'll adjust. The first time is never easy.
We're losing him.
That's enough, Mr. Mann.
We need to pull him out. Now.
All right, Desmond. We're going to try and bring you out now. I told you he'd be fine.
You bastards!
Now, I just saved your life.
Saved my life? You kidnapped me. You strapped me into that thing.
Animus. It's an animus.
I don't even know you people. Why are you doing this to me?
You have information we need, Mr. Miles.
Information? I'm a bartender, for Christ's sakes. What do you want me to do? Teach you how to mix a martini?
We know who you are. What you are.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't play coy with me. There isn't time. You're an assassin. And whether you realize it or not, you've got something that my employers want. Locked away in that head of yours.
But I'm not an assassin. Not anymore.
Yes, your file indicated as much. Something about an escape. Most fortunate for us.
What do you want from me?
For you to do as you're told. The Animus will allow us to locate what we need. Once we have it, you'll be free to go.
I am not going back in there.
Then we'll induce a coma and continue our work. When we're done, you'll be left to die. Truth be told, the only reason you're still conscious is because this approach saves us time.
You're insane.
So what is it, Mr. Miles? Live or die? A wise decision.
Whoa. Where am I?
You're inside the Animus.
Which is...
It's a projector that renders genetic memories in 3 dimensions.
genetic memory.
Seems you'll need a bit of a tutorial.
One of the genius moves with writing a story is, I guess, instead of having the game over time, you kind of understand what the Animus is and what it does. You're able to directly explain what it is and what it does to the reader, the player, the viewer, by having someone else explain it to the protagonist who has no idea what it is, right? So there's times where certain things should not be explained because it's evident, because you can see what's happening. There's no way, up until this point, there's no way of knowing that the Animus is actually reading genetic memories in Desmond's DNA, out of his DNA. There's no ways you could know that's what an Animus is, and that's what it does, because an Animus is not a thing that's part of like every day that everyone knows what it is and what it does. Anyway, let's keep going here.
Very well. We'll start simple. What is a memory, Mr. Miles?
It's the recollection of a past event.
Specific to the individual remembering the event.
Yeah, sure.
What if I told you that the human body not only housed an individual's memory, but the memories of his ancestors as well? Genetic memory, if you will. Migration, hibernation, reproduction. How do animals know when and where to go? What to do?
That's just animal instinct.
Now you're arguing semantics, Mr. Miles. Whatever you call it, the fact remains. These creatures hold knowledge absent the requisite first-hand experience. I've spent the past 30 years trying to understand why. I discovered something most fascinating. Our DNA functions as an archive. It contains not only genetic instructions passed down from previous generations, but memories as well. The memories of our ancestors.
And the Animus lets you decode and read these DNA files.
Precisely.
But there's a problem. This is the specific memory we're trying to access. Unfortunately, when we try and open the memory, your mind withdraws. You lack the confidence to step into your ancestor's body. That's what happened earlier. You got knocked out of the target memory and pushed back to a more stable state.
Why?
It's your subconscious. It's resisting. We've found similar reactions among patients who undergo hypnosis to relive traumatic events. They can't jump directly into the specific memory. They need to be eased in. Even then, there can be problems.
So how do we fix it?
We find a memory you can synchronize with, and we move forward from there. You'll get used to it. This is the closest we can get, so it's where we'll have to start.
Wait! There must be another way. This one need not die.
An excellent kill. Fortune favors your blade.
Not fortune, skill. What?
So they're in Solomon's Temple. Did I miss the date? 1191. I believe this whole game happens in that year, in 1191. So they're in Solomon's Temple.
Kill. Fortune favors your blade.
Not skill. Watch a while longer and you might learn something.
Indeed. He'll teach you how to disregard everything the Masters taught us.
And how would you have done it?
I would not have drawn attention to us. I would not have taken the life of an innocent. What I would have done is follow the creed.
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Understand these words. It matters not how we complete our task, only that it's done.
But this is not the way of...
My way is better.
I will scout ahead. Try not to dishonor us further.
What is our mission? My brother would say nothing to me. Only that I should be honored to have been invited.
The Master believes the Templars have found something beneath the Temple Mount.
Treasure?
I do not know. All that matters is the Master considers it important. Else he would not have asked me to retrieve it.
So right here, actually, one of the rare cases where there's just a bunch of pop-ups on the screen telling you, like, you know, first they're like, you know, you climb a ladder by pushing this button. Then you walk up to an enemy and you can assassinate him by pushing these buttons. There's all these pop-ups on screen. And I just decided to just cut right past the pop-ups. And so... But what ended up happening is I kind of got this cool scene where it looks like Altair kind of disappears and reappears right behind the guy and stabs him. It's kind of a cool scene. Because I guess the camera also moves in on him, and then yeah, I thought that was really cool. A nice little edit.
Ark of the Covenant?
Don't be silly. There's no such thing. It's just a story.
Then what is it?
Quiet! Someone's coming.
I want us through this gate before sunrise. The sooner we possess it, the sooner we can turn our attention to those jackals at Masyaf.
Robert de Sable. His life is mine.
No. We were asked to retrieve the treasure and deal with Robert only if necessary.
He stands between us and it. I'd say it's necessary.
Discretion, Altair!
You mean cowardice. That man is our greatest enemy, and here we have a chance to be rid of him.
You have already broken 2 tenets of our creed. Now you would break the 3rd. Do not compromise the Brotherhood.
I am your superior, in both title and ability. You should know better than to question me.
Altair is like super
Templars.
cocky and
You are not the
arrogant.
only ones with business here.
Ah. Well, this explains my missing man. And what is it you want?
Blood.
No! Don't!
You know not the things in which you meddle, assassin. I spare you only that you may return to your master.
So there's I've seen this argument many times people make for who's the best assassin, who's the greatest of all time, who is the GOAT assassin. And people always, I've seen this many times, people say it's Altair because he had perfect sync. He was never touched. He was a master assassin. He became the mentor by age 26. He was never touched. He had perfect sync. And it's like, okay, but this entire opening scene, first he killed an innocent person, right? First, right off the bat, it's the first thing you see him do. I believe killing innocent people goes against the creed and makes you not get 100% sync, so there's that. And then he gets completely manhandled right here. You can't even argue against it. You know when there's like a little kid and they're trying to hit you, and you just put your hand on their head, on their forehead, and they can't reach you? I mean, this is essentially what we're seeing here. Robert just grabbed him like a rag doll, manhandles him around, and then just throws him out. Just tosses him like a rag doll. There you go. Out you go. And so you cannot argue that Altair was the GOAT simply because he was never touched. Clearly he's being touched right here, and not in a nice way. So anyway, let's get into
And
it.
deliver a message. The Holy Land is lost to him and his. He should flee now while he has the chance. Stay, and all of you will die.
I mean, look, he was even trying to stab him and he couldn't. And then he just got thrown out like a rag doll.
Kill the assassins!
Skipping part of memory to a more recent one.
Altair, you've returned.
Raouf.
It is good to see you unharmed. I trust your mission was a success.
Is the master in his tower?
Yes, buried in his books as always. No doubt he expects you.
My thanks, brother.
Safety and peace, Altair.
On you as well.
Ah, he returns at last.
Abbas.
Where are the others? Did you ride ahead hoping to be the first one back? I know you are loath to share the glory. Silence is just another form of assent.
Have you nothing better to do?
I bring word from the Master. He waits for you in the library. Best hurry. No doubt you're eager to put your tongue to his boot.
Another word and I'll put my blade to your throat.
There'll be plenty of time for that later, brother.
I believe their beef comes from the fact that Altair's dad killed his dad. I
The
believe that's
master
what
waits
happened.
within.
Altair,
Master.
come forward. Tell me of your mission. I trust you have recovered the Templar's treasure.
There was some trouble, Master. Robert de Sable was not alone.
When does our work ever go as expected? It's our ability to adapt that makes us who we are.
This time it was not enough.
What do you mean?
I have failed you.
The treasure?
Lost to us.
And Robert?
Escaped.
I send you, my best man, to complete a mission more important than any that has come before. And you return to me with nothing but apologies and excuses.
So, just to go back a little bit about Altair being like the best guy, the best assassin or whatever. Right there, Al-Mualim even said he sent his best guy. Altair wasn't a master assassin. He was the best, right, at this point in time. And he just got absolutely manhandled by Robert. So, like, I understand there's kind of there's like a progression to video games. So, like, you got to start at square one and like work your way to a goal. That's what keeps people playing. Understand that. But as far as like story goes, Altair was already the best, right? Taking someone's rank away or a weapon away doesn't take away their actual skill. And so he was at his peak when the game begins, and he kills an innocent completely. I mean, he could have knocked him out, could have tied him up, wrapped his mouth, put something in his mouth to gag him, shut him up. Many things they could have done instead of just kill him, right? So he broke the creed. First thing you see Altair do, he breaks a creed. And then he gets completely manhandled by the assassin's ultimate enemy. It's hard to argue that he was the GOAT after acknowledging those things.
I did.
Do not speak! Not another word! This is not what I expected. We'll need to mount another force.
I swear to you I'll find him. I'll go in.
No! You'll do nothing. You've done enough. Where are Malik and Kadar?
Dead.
No! Not dead.
Malik?
I still live at least.
And your brother?
Gone. Because of you!
Robert threw me from the room. There was no way back. Nothing I could do.
Because you would not heed my warning! All of this could have been avoided! And my brother would still be alive! Your arrogance nearly cost us victory today.
Nearly?
I've what your favorite failed to find. Here. Take it. Though it seems I've returned with more than just their treasure.
Master, we are under attack. Robert de Sable lays siege to Masyaf's village.
So he seeks a battle. Very well. I'll not deny him. Go. Inform the others. The fortress must be prepared. As for you, Altair, our discussion will have to wait. You must make for the village. Destroy these invaders. Drive them from our home.
It will be done.
Altair, it's good you've come. We need your help.
What's happened?
Templars. They attacked the village. Most of our people were able to get away. Most, but not all.
What do you need me to do?
Distract the Templars. Keep them occupied while I rescue those still trapped inside.
As you wish.
Assassin! Stop!
Break off the attack and return to Masyaf! Al-Mualim commands it!
Altair, come. Al-Mualim's not done with us yet.
Where are we going?
Up there. We've a surprise planned for our guests. Just do as I do. It should become clear soon enough. This way, brother. Stand on that platform, Altair.
Heretic! Return what you have stolen from me!
You've no claim to it, Robert. Take yourself from here before I'm forced to thin your ranks further.
You play a dangerous game!
I assure you, this is no game.
So be it! Bring forth the hostage! Your village lays in ruins, and your stores are hardly endless. How long before your fortress crumbles from within? How disciplined will your men remain when the wells run dry and their food is gone?
My men do not fear death, Robert. They welcome it, and the rewards it brings.
Good. Then they shall have it all around.
Follow me, and do so without hesitation.
Show this fool knight what it is to have no fear. Go to God!
Oh, my leg!
So that right there is the absolute first leap of faith that we get to see. It's pretty good. And also, I mean, one guy gets completely injured, right? I think he breaks his leg or something. So that just goes to show, because I feel like in the other Assassin's Creed, no one really ever gets hurt. Everyone just jumps in the haystack and they're fine. But in the first one, they do kind of give you that feeling like it really is a leap of faith. You absolutely could still be hurt. And so I do like that about this scene. Also, there's like a million pop-ups from here until Altair gets into the tower, where he can then sabotage the Templars, but I just kind of cut that part out.
Stay behind and tend to him. You'll have to go ahead without us. The ropes there will bring you to a trap we've set. Go and release it. Rain death upon our enemies.
That's rough.
You did well to drive Robert from here. His force is broken. It shall be a long while before he troubles us again. Tell me, do you know why it is you are successful? You listened. Were it that you'd listened in Solomon's temple, Altair, all of this would have been avoided.
I did as I was asked.
No, you did as you pleased. Malik has told me of the arrogance you displayed, your disregard for our ways.
What are you doing?
There are rules. We are nothing if we do not abide by the Assassin's Creed. 3 simple tenets, which you seem to forget. I will remind you. First and foremost, stay your blade.
From the flesh of an innocent. I know.
And stay your tongue, unless I give you leave to use it.
Also, to the people that say like Altair was never touched, he just got bitch slapped by his mentor in front of all the other assassins.
If you are so familiar with this tenet, then why did you kill the old man inside the temple? He was innocent. He did not need to die. Your insolence knows no bounds. Make humble your heart, child, or I swear I'll tear it from you with my own hands. The second tenet is that which gives us strength. Hide in plain sight. Let the people mask you such that you become one with the crowd. Do you remember? Because as I hear it, you chose to expose yourself, drawing attention before you'd struck. The third and final tenet. The worst of all your betrayals. Never compromise the Brotherhood. Its meaning should be obvious. Your actions must never bring harm upon us, direct or indirect. Yet your selfish act beneath Jerusalem placed us all in danger.
So, to be fair, the Templars showing up on the doorstep of Masyaf was not Altair's fault. It just wasn't. That was Malik's fault. Malik stayed behind, fought the Templars, got the apple, but then he pretty much let the Templars follow him back to Masyaf, where Malik compromised the Brotherhood, right? So I wouldn't put that part on Altair. That's not his fault. That was all Malik's fault. It's his fault that he lost the apple because of his arrogance, but not... He didn't compromise the Brotherhood. I don't think you could actually make that argument.
Worse still, you brought the enemy to our home. Every man we've lost today was lost because of you.
No. Because of Malik.
I am sorry. Truly I am. But I cannot abide a traitor.
I am not a traitor.
Your actions indicate otherwise. And so you leave me no choice. Peace be upon you, Altair.
He's experiencing a far better adoption rate than the other subjects.
I'm still pulling him out. He's been in there way too long.
No, not yet. We're still so far from where we need to be.
We shouldn't risk it.
What's another hour or two?
Why don't we discuss this in the conference room? Give Desmond a minute to stretch his legs.
I really don't see the need.
Warren, please.
Fine.
I remember at this point I tried to get up close to the glass to see what they were saying, and I was gonna put
We're done for today, Mr. Miles. I suggest you return to your room and get some rest.
So I was gonna put subtitles. I was gonna walk up to the window and then try to see what they were saying and then put subtitles there. And I could not figure out what they were saying, so I was like, oh well. If anyone does know what they were saying behind the glass there, let me know in the comments, cause I like to know all the little details kind of hidden or in the background, or you can't really hear what they're saying. I like to know those details. So if maybe I believe there's a book. I don't know, maybe it says what they were on about in the book and I'm not aware. I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments.
Damn it, they locked the door.
All right. So that is episode 1. I did have a little more to say in some areas, but I was like, nah, I don't think I need to say. One thing I will say, Vidic is a really good bad guy. He just is. The voice acting, the character himself, like, he's just, he's your typical, inhumane scientist bad guy. And he's really good. Also, if you want to watch these and you don't want to listen to me talk about it at all, that's fine too. You can go on the channel and every season is in a playlist, or there is a playlist with all of them in it, and you can watch Assassin's Creed as a TV show from the very first part in the first game all the way up until Rogue. So that's 7 seasons, 7 games done, turned into TV shows, and I'm about to start Unity. So it'll just be eventually, maybe a year or so from now, it'll probably be all the Assassin's Creed games. Give or take one. You could probably guess which one that is. Alright, so let's pull this back up. Let's get into the second episode of Assassin's Creed. Here we go. that sound, I don't know, that sound gives me so much nostalgia. For anyone else who played Assassin's Creed games when they were younger, there's a lot of nostalgia there.
Gotta say, that's a little creepy, Doc. Waking up to you standing near me. You been watching me sleep?
We're always watching you. Now get up. We've got a lot of work to do.
Ooh, wonder who I get to kill today.
Don't be so cavalier. Your ancestors almost had the right idea, Mr. Miles. If the deaths of a few people, evil people, no less, could save the lives of thousands more, well, it seems a small sacrifice.
What do you mean, almost?
They didn't go far enough. To use a rather tired analogy, corruption is no different than cancer. Cut out the tumors, but fail to treat the source and, well, you're buying time at best. There's no true change to be had without comprehensive, systemic intervention.
Chemo for the masses.
Education, re-education, to be more precise. But it's not easy, and it doesn't always take.
Let me guess. You've got a better solution. What is it then?
Now that would be telling.
I think Vidic's the best bad guy in all of Assassin's Creed. Like, I don't even think there's an argument to be made.
Alive. But I saw you stab me. Felt death's embrace.
You saw what I wanted you to see. And then you slept the sleep.
Something just happened that I didn't think was possible. I'm getting a bit of ahead of myself right now, but so in there's a later scene in in like episode 5, I think, or something, much closer to the end of the game, where Al-Mualim pulls the apple out and shows it to Altair, and Altair's completely unaffected by it because he has the Isu genes, and he has a strong will or whatever, so he can't be manipulated by the apple. As far as that was my understanding. But right now, see, this is why I always go back and watch these things, because right now Altair just came to and was like, "What? I'm not dead?" And then Al-Mualim just says he showed him what he wanted him to see. But I could only imagine that he did that by using the apple, right? Or am I wrong? I guess, again, I am going to say things that are wrong, and there are going to be things that I miss. I need other people that love Assassin's Creed as much or more than me to let me know in the comments, because I would like to know, like, how do they explain that here? Is that what happened? I don't really know what happened.
Of the dead, of the womb, that you might awake and be reborn.
To what end?
Do you remember, Altair, what it is the assassins fight for?
Peace. In all things.
Yes, in all things. It is...
Also, it's really hard to just ignore the blowing flags in the wind, because they just look so ridiculous, because they don't bend. It looks so stupid. But what was this, 2007? This game came out in 2007, which is a long time ago. I don't want to do math right now. It's basically 17 years ago. That's a long time ago in video game years. Just saying, like.
It's not enough to end the violence one man commits upon another. It refers to peace within as well. You cannot have one without the other.
So it is said.
So it is! But you, my son, have not found inner peace. It manifests in ugly ways. You are arrogant and overconfident.
Were you not the one to say that nothing is true and everything is permitted?
You do not understand the true meaning of the phrase, my child. It does not grant you the freedom to do as you wish. It is a knowledge meant to guide your senses. It expects a wisdom you clearly lack.
Then what is to become of me?
I should kill you for the pain you've brought upon us. Malik thinks it only fair. Your life in exchange for his brother's. But this would be a waste of my time and your talents. You'll see you have been stripped of your possessions, your rank as well. You are a novice, a child once more, as you were on the day you first joined our order. I am offering you a chance at redemption. You'll earn your way back into the Brotherhood.
I assume you've something planned.
First, you must prove to me you remember how to be an assassin.
So you'd have me take a life?
No. Not yet, at least. For now, you're to become a student once again.
There is no need for this.
Others tracked your targets for you, but no more. From today on, you will track them yourself.
If this is what you wish.
It is.
Then tell me what it is that I must do.
We have been betrayed. Someone was assisting Robert de Sable, one of our own. You must find him and bring him here for questioning.
What can you tell me of the traitor?
Ah, but that's just it. I've given you all I will. The rest is up to you.
One thing is for sure, in the earlier Assassin's Creed games, the dialogue between characters was vastly superior to all the games that pretty much came after it. Up until... there was some okay dialogue in Assassin's Creed 3. After that, it kind of gets... it's not bad, right? It doesn't get bad right away, but it just starts to fall off a little bit more with each game. Up until they started doing the whole... you get to pick what you say from a list of replies. I personally believe that was the wrong direction for Assassin's Creed. I don't think they ever should have gone that way, but they wanted replayability, so that's what they did. If you want replayability, make a good story. I've played Assassin's Creed 1 vastly more times than I've played all the other Assassin's Creed games except for the Ezio trilogy. Because the Ezio trilogy is my personal favorite game trilogy of all time. And personally, I think it's one of the best stories actually written of all time. Because it is so well written. The dialogue between characters is what builds your knowledge about who the characters are. And they just I think that kind of stuff went out the window, and they started to just focus on, gameplay mechanics and goal-oriented gameplay, where it's like, we need to keep them in our game, playing our game, so let's always keep them on a mission to go get to a goal, right? They set goals for you, and then they give you ways to reach those goals, and they just want you in the game as long as possible, so they can show the shareholders the numbers. This is the problem with corporate, with the gaming industry becoming so corporate. They stop making games for players, and they start making games for shareholders. And you can see that, so when this game came out, right, in 2007, Ubisoft's stock price was higher then than it is now in 2024. Which is proof of what I just said. Anyway, let's keep going.
Safety and peace, Altair.
You're in my way.
Yes, Al-Mualim has asked that I assist you. Remind you how it is we hunt our prey.
I know how it works.
Be that as it may, I have no desire to disobey.
Then be quick.
The Assassin have many tools at their disposal.
Yes. We can eavesdrop, we can pickpocket, or we can use violence to intimidate.
Good, you remember.
So you'd have me walk amongst the others and learn what I can about the traitor?
Yes. Begin by going to the village market. That's where we first spotted the traitor.
You know who it is?
Perhaps.
Then give me a name and let's be done with it.
That's not the way it works. Now go. And remember, begin your search in the village market.
Don't open the gate. He let the Templars in.
Then you must tell Al-Mualim.
I can't. Masoon did not act alone. Someone inside the fortress helped him.
What makes you say this?
He exchanges letters with someone inside. The basket weaver carries them for him.
That's no reason to stay silent.
Ah, but the weaver delivered him a letter just before the attack. I suspect it held the order to open the gate.
Then speak to the weaver. He can name Masoon's accomplice.
He's disappeared. Hiding for fear of being dragged into this.
Probably inside one of his own baskets.
I also kind of want to just bring up the fact that this was the first video game that I ever attempted to try to turn into a TV show. And so after I just finished making season 7, the Rogue one, I realized how much better I actually got at turning the game into a TV show, making the game feel more like a TV show. And I guess it makes sense. Like, the first time is probably going to be the worst, and then every time after it would improve, and it absolutely does. It gets better and better with each game.
Please, just one. We lost everything in the attack and have no place to store our grain.
I can't right now. I'm busy.
Is this about the letter?
What letter?
The letter you received when I got here. Bad news?
I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, I'll see what I can do, but please, I need to be alone right now. Come back later.
As you wish.
I see the way you look at me. Hear the things you say. A traitor? I'm not a traitor, but men like Al-Mualim would see this dream destroyed. Today's attack was but the first, and more will follow unless you repent. Give up your wicked ways. Rise up against the madman of Masyaf. See through his lies.
So real quick, something you'll notice, especially with the first Assassin's Creed, maybe only with the first one, is it was repetitive. You can't argue it wasn't. With each person you have to find, each target you have to find, you had to do like the 3 things, right? You gotta sit on a bench and eavesdrop, or you gotta intimidate with violence, or pickpocket. So doing those 3 things over and over, there's 9, including this one. There might be 10. Well, even so, there's 10, including spoiler alert, Al-Mualim. So you have 10 targets, which means you have to do 30, eavesdrops, pickpockets, and that's repetitive. Like, there's no way around it. It's repetitive. And so what I tried to do is, instead of showing like all 3 things every time, I try to just do like 2 or 1. Toward the end, the second half of the game, you're going after like 3 targets at once, like looking for 3 people at one time. And so I started just doing like 1 for each, like 1 pickpocket, and then 1 eavesdrop, and then 1 tail, and then take those targets out, just to try to, the thing about editing, here's the beauty about editing. You can take minuscule things that don't add much to the story and just cut them out. You can take things that seem repetitive or unnecessary and just cut them out, and it improves the overall story. So if you're one of these people that thinks Assassin's Creed 1 was probably one of the worst Assassin's Creed because of how repetitive it was, you might actually really enjoy my version of the TV series that I've created, because I get rid of I get rid of most of the repetitiveness. So yeah.
Enough! I yield! I yield!
Speak quickly then. I've no interest in your games. Why did you betray us? And who do you serve?
We serve the Templars. You should too. Their cause is just.
We?
Jamal. He told me of their plans. Asked me to open the gate.
You betrayed us. We, who called you brother and kept you safe from harm.
I did what I believed was right. And if you must kill me for it, so be it. I am not afraid to die.
Your fate is not for me to decide. It's Al-Mualim who will judge.
I'm proud of what I did. My only regret is that they failed.
I offer you a chance to repent, to renounce the evil in your heart.
It is not evil in my heart, but truth. I will not repent.
Then you will die. You did well, Altair, and have earned the right to carry a blade once more.
What will become of the one who helped him?
It remains to be seen. Some do ill out of ignorance or fear. These men can be saved. Others suffer from corrupted wills, their minds poisoned and twisted. These men must be destroyed. Soon enough, we'll know what sort of man Jamal is.
I've passed your test, then. What now?
Oh, my child. We've only just begun. I hold here a list. 9 names adorn it. 9 men who need to die. They are plague bringers, war makers. Their power and influence corrupts the land and ensures the crusades continue. You will find them. Kill them. In doing so, you'll sow the seeds of peace, both for the region and for yourself. In this way, you might be redeemed.
9 lives in exchange for mine.
A most generous offer, I think. Have you any questions?
Only where I need begin.
Very well. Ride for Damas. Seek out the black market merchant named Tamir. Let him be the first to fall. Be sure to visit the city's assassin bureau when you arrive. I'll dispatch a bird to inform the Rafik of your arrival. Speak with him. You'll find he has much to offer.
Al-Mualim just sending Al-Mualim sending a 12th century text right there.
Do. Besides, you cannot begin your mission without his consent.
What nonsense is this? I don't need his permission. It's a waste of time.
It's the price you pay for the mistakes you've made. You answer not only to me, but all the Brotherhood as well now.
So be it.
Take your equipment and go. Prove that you are not yet lost to us.
I did always find it pretty weird that Altair literally looked just like Desmond. Like, I think that is Desmond, right? They just used Desmond in a different outfit with a hood on so you don't really see most of his face. Because, I mean, he's got the exact same scar. Although the scar isn't genetic, obviously. It is kind of weird, though. I don't know why they had the lip scar thing. Never made sense to me because it was never genetic, but somehow all of them just had the same. You know what? Altair probably doesn't have a scar. They just used Desmond's character. I'm almost certain. Maybe, again, I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. Little travel montage.
find better items anywhere else.
Just never finding anything useful at the other merchant stalls? That won't happen here.
What you need, I'm sure of it.
You,
Take
sir.
a look.
So I don't do this every single time Altair enters a city, but there's something about, because you can't just walk into any city, which is kind of how it was. You know, so he sneaks in, but they give you different options, different ways to sneak in, and one of the ways is to get incognito with the monks. And I was like, I want to put that in there as kind of just a little scene on its own, showing how assassins would actually get around, you know. Yeah.
Anything useful at the other merchant stalls? That won't happen here.
I am with you, my friend.
Beat him. Let these barbarous acts fight the oven. Pray that God, glorious and exalted is he, finds favor with us, that he may grant us victory.
There's some super bad frame rates right there. Unless that was just a glitch of my computer. One thing I actually hope they never get rid of is the eagle points. Is there something about like getting up on a high point and then looking around, being able to look at your surroundings? I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. And then the assassin bureaus, man. It's almost not an Assassin's Creed game if there is no assassin bureau. Maybe that's a hot take, but I feel like there's something about the organization of the Creed that is what makes it an actual Assassin's Creed game. In Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelation, I guess Revelations and Brotherhood do have bureaus. You could say like the tower, like there's like the tower defense that you do. You could say like, yeah, those are assassin bureaus. So I could see that. But then in Assassin's Creed 2 there was no assassin bureau. So maybe that's a bad argument, a bad take to say it's not an Assassin's Creed game if there's no assassin bureau. Just because Assassin's Creed 2 with Ezio, like the beginning of Ezio's story, is absolutely an Assassin's Creed game. But then again, maybe it's actually just the story, the writing, because Ezio is actually quite ignorant of the assassins and the Creed during the whole second game. So maybe some of those brothels that he went to, like where his sister and mom stayed after his brothers and dad are killed, that could have been an assassin bureau. He just didn't know it, and so they didn't write it as if it was. I don't know. These are thoughts I have when I think about Assassin's Creed.
Altair, it is good to see you, and in one piece. You as well, friend. I am sorry for your troubles. Think nothing of it. A few of your brothers were here earlier, in fact. Oof, if you'd heard the things they said.
So, this guy, the guy who runs I believe this is the Damascus Bureau, he is one of my favorite characters in this whole game because he is the most passive-aggressive guy. It's always oh, you should have heard you should have heard what they were saying about you. It's like, oh, don't shoot the messenger. Like, I didn't say it, they said it. It's almost like saying, like, you know, someone calls someone fat, and you're like, no, you can't call them fat. You can't call that person fat. And you just kind of keep saying that. It's like you're calling them fat over and over again, but you're saying you can't call them fat. Like, saying you can't call them fat isn't saying they aren't fat, if you know what I mean. But this guy, he's so passive-aggressive with Altair throughout the whole thing. He makes me laugh.
I'm certain you'd have slain them where they stood.
It's quite all right.
Yes, you've never been one for the creed, have you?
Is that all?
I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget myself. What business brings you to the Mass?
A man named Tamir. Al-Mualim takes issue with the work he does. I meant to end it. Now tell me where to find him.
Surely you remember how to track an enemy.
Of course. Learn where he will be and when. But that sort of work is best left for... I understand.
Go and search the city, determine what he's planning and where he works. Preparation makes the victor.
What can you tell me of him?
Tamir makes his living as a black market merchant, so the Souk district should be your destination. I would suggest you seek out the following places. A small souk northeast of here, the madrasa to our east, and in the gardens north of this bureau. Focus on these places and he should become well known to you.
I assume you want me to return to you when this is done.
Yes. Come back to me. I'll give you Al-Mualim's marker and you'll give us Tamir's life.
As you wish.
Remember, Altair, if you find yourself in trouble and the city turned against you, return to the bureau. I can shelter you from the storm. Be warned though, if your enemies are too close, my door will remain closed until you've lost them. Do you understand?
Yes. To bring the enemy inside would compromise the Brotherhood.
Very well. Off you go.
And so Tamir left, riding north and wondering what would become of his supplies. For soon, they would surely spoil. It seemed there were none in Jerusalem who wanted what he had, fruits and vegetables from nearby farms. Some say, were it not for Tamir, Salah ad-Din's men would have surely turned on him. Could be we won the battle because of that man. You will pay.
You seem to know quite a bit about Tamir. Tell me what he's planning.
I know only the stories I tell, nothing more.
A pity. There's no reason to let you live if you've nothing to offer in return.
Wait! There is one thing.
Continue.
He is preoccupied as of late. He oversees the production of many weapons.
What of it? They're meant for Salah ad-Din. This does not help me, which means it does not help you.
No, stop, listen! Not Salah ad-Din. They're for someone else. The crests these arms bear, they are different, unfamiliar. It seems Tamir supports another, but I know not who.
Is that all?
Yes. I've told you everything I know.
Then it's time for you to rest.
Who did this?
Do you understand?
Yes. I am to deliver the letter to your merchant friend.
And you know who to see?
The same man as always.
Do not think to betray my presence in this city. We have many eyes, many ears.
And many arms, yes. Good for silencing those who say too much. I know this well. You have my word.
Good. Then be quick about it. Time is short.
Something needs to be done. It's only a matter of time before someone else discovers it. Tell him then, it's in his best interest to keep the souk secure. He won't meet with me. Too busy with this new deal of his. And the guards? Tried already. They won't lift a finger unless the order comes from him.
Then what will you do?
I'll go to Abu Nukud.
The Merchant King? He won't see you.
He doesn't have to. I've written him a letter that explains the problem. He can read it and decide for himself.
Altair, welcome, welcome. I've done what you asked. Now give me the marker. First things first. Tell me what you know. Tamir rules over the Souk El Salah. He makes his fortune selling arms and armor and is supported by many in this endeavor. Blacksmiths, traders, financiers. He's the largest death dealer in the land.
And have you devised a way to rid us of this blight?
A meeting is being arranged at Souk El Salah to discuss an important sale. They say it's the largest deal Tamir has ever made. He'll be distracted with his work. That's when I'll strike.
Your plan seems solid enough. I give you leave to go.
So, one thing that I really liked about Assassin's Creed 1 as well was the feathers. There's something, whether it's just symbolic or... I actually don't entirely understand the whole feather thing. Maybe someone else does and they can explain it to me in the comments, but there was something about like killing someone and then dipping their blood in a white feather that was like, okay, job done. You know, it was, I guess it was more of like a closure thing, whereas I'm trying to remember if any of the other Assassin's Creeds had the feather thing. Did Mirage have the feather thing going on? I don't think it did. It's been about a year since I played Mirage, so I don't remember, but I don't know, I really liked the feather thing because it was like you could almost, it was also, you had their blood, obviously the blood would like soak into the feather, and so you almost had, I mean in those days it was irrelevant, but you would have like their DNA basically. You would think it was more of a Templar thing to like collect, you know, the blood, the DNA or whatever. They wouldn't know why they were doing it back then, but I guess in today's time it would make more sense thinking of it in that way. But honestly, I don't know the point of the feather thing. To me, it just seems like a kind of a closure, like, look, I did it. Here's the proof. I got his blood on a white feather. I assume that that's all it is, but I guess I want it to be more than that, but I'm not entirely sure its purpose in full. So
let Al-Mualim's will be done. You may rest here until you are ready.
I wonder if a burn or a roast amongst assassins would be like go get feathered. You know what I mean? Or like go catch a feather. You know what I mean? Because it has a whole different context in this game.
If you just have a look, I have no interest in your calculations. The numbers change nothing.
So this is actually a really rough scene.
Failed to fill the order, which means I have
this guy is ruthless, to say the least.
Time. This is the excuse of a lazy or incompetent man. Which are you? Neither. What I see says otherwise. Now, tell me.
Another thing, this is... I almost don't want to talk about this because I can literally talk about this for hours. So I'll try to keep it as short as I can. This is going to be difficult. Okay, so lately, and it's not just in gaming, it's honestly, it's most stories, most writing that I come across, whether it's in, I I haven't read any books that have actually been written recently, so I can't say it for the books that I've read. But the TV shows, the movies, the video games, the writing doesn't necessarily give the reader justice. It's seriously lacking justice. And one of the biggest, I guess you could say, treats, it's not even a treat, it's almost like if you spend your time and effort involving yourself in a story, the least the writers can do is give you justice, right? Now, in order to create good justice, you have to make a bad guy really bad. You want the reader, the listener, the watcher, the player, you want them to hate the bad guy. You want them to want bad things to happen to the bad guy. And so in this scene, like, I understand the brutality of it. A lot of people are like, oh, that's like too violent or whatever. It's like, yeah, but what they're actually doing is they're creating a character for you to hate so that when you get him, you feel that sense of justice. And it's like, a lot of times people are looking for a happy ending. People aren't looking for a happy ending. They're looking for justice. That's what it's about. And so here, they do this is a perfect example of really villainizing a character. One of the antagonists, basically. They villainize the antagonist so well in such a short period of time, right before you get your justice, and they just do it in such a good way, right here, that it should be an example for all other writers. Like, hey, this is how you do it, the most simple and fast way possible. This is how you do it right here. So let's watch it.
What do you intend to do to solve this problem of ours? These weapons are needed now.
I see no solution. The men work day and night, but your client requires so much, and the destination, it is a difficult route.
Were it that you could produce weapons with the same skill as you produce excuses.
I have done all I can.
It is not enough.
Then perhaps you ask too much.
Too much? I gave you everything. Without me, you would still be charming serpents for coin. All I ask in return was you fill the orders I bring you, and you say I ask too much? You dare disrespect me?
Peace, Tamir. I meant no insult.
Then you should have kept your mouth shut.
No, stop!
Stop? I'm just getting started.
No! Stop! No!
You came into my souk, stood before my men, and dared to insult me? You must learn your place!
No. Leave the body. Let this be a lesson to the rest.
So not only do they take this guy, this bad guy, you don't know much about him. You know he's a bad guy, but you don't know, like, you haven't seen it for yourself, so you don't really know. And right here, he just stabs an innocent dude over and over again. And that's not enough. They then go on. So one of the biggest things about justice is when someone does something bad, it's like, okay, that's a bad guy. I don't like him. But then when they get away with it, it's like, it's infuriating, right? When corrupt people or bad people get away with their corruption and their bad doings, it makes people even more angry, right? And so they do it all. They just layer it on. They just layer this guy up full of bad stuff. So like you don't care how this guy gets taken care of. You just know 100% this guy needs to be taken care of. And then immediately they let you take care of him.
Think twice before you tell me something cannot be done. Now get back to work.
Please, sir, have any money? No, please, no, please.
And to anyone who knows the frustration of the beggars in Assassin's Creed 1, trying to film to have things work out a certain way for, you know, like filming and story purposes, and then to have these freaking beggars coming in and cutting you off, it is super frustrating.
A few coins, please. No, you don't understand. I have
No,
nothing.
you don't understand.
Absolutely. Be at peace.
You'll pay for this. You and all your kind.
It seems you're the one pays now, my friend. You'll not profit from suffering any longer.
You think me some petty death dealer, suckling at the breast of war? A strange target, don't you think? Why me, when so many others do the same?
You believe yourself different, then?
Oh, but I am. For I serve a far nobler cause than mere profit. Just like my brothers.
Brothers?
Ah, but he thinks I act alone. I am but a piece. A man with a part to play. You'll come to know the others soon enough. They won't take kindly to what you've done.
Good. I look forward to ending their lives as well.
Such pride. It will destroy you, child.
Feather him. Yeah. It's so satisfying. I don't know why they took the feather thing out. There's also something that I really focus on when turning these games into TV shows is the actual characters themselves. So would Altair stand here and just fight like a whole bunch of guards? No. He would most likely just try to, you know, find his moment and then escape and disappear, right? Whereas if this were Edward Kenway, he's going to stand there, he's going to fight all of them, right? It's just that was his mentality. That's part of who his character is. So I always try to do everything based on how I think the character would actually do it in the moment, instead of playing the game however I want to play it. So that's one thing that I always try to focus on, because it increases the value of the characters, right? It makes it more believable.
Word has reached me of your victory, Altair. You have my gratitude and my respect.
Thank you.
It is a shame that the other assassins continue to hold you in such poor regard.
Rafik, I do not care what the others think of me.
As you wish, Altair. You should bring news of your victory to Al-Mualim. I'm certain he has more work for you to do.
Out of the machine, Mr. Miles.
What's the matter, Doc?
Miss Stillman is once again insisting I let you rest.
So, feel like telling me who put the stick up his ass?
We have a deadline. 1 week. Well, 6 days now.
Deadline?
I can't talk about it.
Man, put yourself in my shoes. I'm being held hostage by a group of scientists, at least I think you're scientists, and forced to spend all day in some crazy-ass machine. You won't tell me what you're looking for or why you want it, but I'm supposed to be thanking you for keeping me alive. This is so fucked. Sorry, but it is.
What do you want me to do?
Let's see, I don't know. Maybe give me some answers?
I can't. And it's better this way. Safer.
Safer for who?
Both of us.
Hey, you know what? I've got a question I think you can actually answer.
What's up?
Why is it that sometimes the guys in there talk like they're from the future?
The future?
I mean the present.
So this right here is also a kind of genius writing. It kind of obvious, but at the same time it is pretty genius because so there's this question, right? When you go watch a movie and it's like set in Italy in the 1500s, say you watch a movie it's set during the Renaissance, and every single actor in the whole movie is just speaking with an English accent in English. It's kind of like you guys couldn't have at least had people speaking English with Italian accents? No? Okay. But here in this moment, Desmond asked Lucy a really good question about why is it he can understand what everyone's saying when he doesn't know that language, right? And her answer is pretty good. She doesn't get too into detail because she pretty much calls him an idiot, but it's still pretty good.
Now, today, whatever.
You've probably noticed that English has become the official language of the Holy Land.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The Animus is translating speech it deems vital into more modern English, so expect a few anachronisms. I could probably make it more authentic, but... You ever read Chaucer?
Who?
Yeah, definitely not for you.
Can you tell me more about Abstergo? What goes on here? Beyond the whole keeping me prisoner thing.
Abstergo is one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world. Their primary focus is antidepressants. There's some information on the computer over there.
But you already said this isn't about testing a drug. So what's the deal?
I don't like where this is going.
So it's safe to assume the Animus is not a part of their public face.
What, you haven't seen the commercials?
Oh my god. She has a sense of humor.
I'm sorry, Desmond. I've got a lot of work to do. Like I said, if you want to know more about the company, take a look at the computer. The telecommunication stuff is particularly interesting.
I like how she is literally kind of, you know, she's kind of pointing him in the right direction without just explaining everything to him, which leaves mystery, but then also allows you to be curious enough to go actually look on that computer when you get a chance to. Alright, so that is season 1, episode 2. We've covered the first 2 episodes. Let's, there we go. So, also at the end there, you'll notice every episode of the first season starts and ends with him in the room there, or getting in or out of the bed. I just did that because it was the simplest way to figure out the start and end point of each episode. Initially I was like, oh yeah, I'll just take each scene, because in the game they're called scenes, I believe, in all the Assassin's Creed games, or is it sequence? It might be sequence, but whether it's scene or sequence, there's usually like 1 to 12 or 1 to 13 or whatever. And I was like, oh, I'll just turn each scene into an episode. But then some of them are, I think it is sequence. Some sequences are like 10 minutes long. And then some are like 45 minutes long. And so I was like, well, I can't do that. I need to find... It's actually been one of the more challenging things. Because when you make a movie, you just make start, and that's where it starts, and you end when it ends. But when you're making a TV series, you have to find a good place to start each, because sometimes you can find a place that, oh man, we should end this episode right here, because that would be a good place to end it. But then like what comes next wouldn't be a very good beginning. And so then you have to kind of balance like where you're going to stop and start the next episode. And I just found in the first one, him waking up in the bed or going back into the room to go to bed, it was always the best time for me to either start or end an episode. And so it just ended up being that way for the first episode, or the first season. But anyway, this is the first video of many, because we're going to be watching all of them and talking about all of them. And if you guys have any cool little historical facts about the time period or any of the historical characters within the game, let me know in the comments, for real, because I am going to be talking. Anyone who wants to talk about Assassin's Creed in the comments, I'm 100% gonna be talking to you. So I do love Assassin's Creed, so I know a lot about it, but I don't know everything about it. I've read like paragraphs out of the books, but I haven't read all the books. So at some point I'll be at some point reading the books and then doing like video reviews on the books and focusing on the differences between the books and the game's stories. Other than that, if you're still watching this, I love you just as much as I love Assassin's Creed, because your support is much appreciated. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.